Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. In this video you're going to see this blank, which came from the middle of a mirror frame, finished off. It's going to be a standing dish on a thin dish on a pedestal, effectively. I might have a little design issue with the foot. At one stage when I was parting this off from the mirror, I cut in a little bit deep, which you'll see in just a second. So we'll see how I go. When I was turning the mirror frame, I had this mounted on a 3-in-1 screw chuck. The grain pulled out, which it often does in the highly figured eucalypt. So it could possibly go back on the screw. There's a little bit left at the bottom. So I'm going to grip this by the foot, which was created when I parted in to take this off what was the mirror frame, which was sitting around here. So this now goes into this chuck, which is a 5-inch diameter chuck. I'm left to do. Right, so what I now need now is a recess into which I can expand the chuck, which is about there. Square and scraper for that. So that now gets turned around. So it would be sensible now I think about it to true this up as well. Stage. This is extremely dusty. That up, shallower groove. And I'll undercut that very slightly, half executable. The first thing is to get rid of this little undercut in there. No, in fact, with it vibrating that much, first thing is to get the outside true. There's a 3/8 bowl gouge, 3/8 flute. There's also a 3/8 flute. This is a spindle gouge. Spindle gouge because the fingernail grind lets me get into a corner, whereas on the deep fluted tool, that right wing will grab the foot and you're likely to have a catch. Right, back to the deep fluted one now, true this up. And I can also come up again with a few revs up to 1350. These are set to the chuck diameter. And so I cut straight in on that, so I'm going to have a cylindrical foot initially, probably take it in, dovetail it very slightly. Just for the heck of it, I'll put a bead in there. Taking the tool round, handle round a little circle, gives me a round bead. Now this is going to come out with scraping. Now, I'd forgotten, but the other thing with this stuff was that the grain really does like to pull out. So I'm likely to lose another millimetre or so in thickness here, which I can ill afford. Shear scrape this. That me jumping back was because I could feel something sharp sticking out. So it's still that little hole there. Coming on the top of the bead just to find it a bit better, and nice, do the bottom, bit of decoration in there. Now there's a good surface here except for the hole and the hole, and one possibility is to fill those, but I don't really want a couple of black spots, so what I'll do is sand this and then just sand that out basically, so there'll be a little kind of pit, but it'll probably be very difficult to feel once it's all done. Not really an issue. There's a little bit more picked out grain showed up there, some more there. The way I'm going to cope with this is to sand around those, and then when I hand sand it, it'll all blend in. It'll be a little bit lumpy, but it won't be, it's better than trashing the whole plate altogether. I can't really have a plate which is only 1/8 of an inch thin, or I can make it, but it's impractical. Whereas if it's mostly near 1/4 of an inch thick, about 5-6 millimeters, then I can cope with slightly thinner bits, provided it looks okay on the other side. Now, as I sand, I can feel the bumps, but it's extremely difficult to feel them when it's not going hurtling around. And then it gets beeswax over the top. Now that is going to grip right underneath this bead. Now my little design problem, which I've just made one of these, and it looks like the same problem. The screw is a bit deep, so I'm going to get that out first and just see how deep that is. Oh, long way down. Well, maybe I should have been thinking of another mirror frame. That's a very long way down. In fact, it's so far down, and another mirror might be the option. Right, so I need to measure that. It is about an eighth of an inch thick. Oh, it's about 4 millimeters, 4 mil. Enough. Enough if there are no errors. Right, so I can make a bowl inside that and then have a rim. Tempting to push, but it just needs honing this edge. Right, and now a rim. In this situation, as you're cutting, there's always that bit of material which is about to be removed. Just keep an eye on it, as maybe keep it as a mass here. Might just keep that for beads or something. A little bit fat there, just slightly thicker in that area. So, shear scrape that, I think. I'm just going to go and put a new edge on the tool. Kind of integral split there, which doesn't come out the other side but probably goes down that way, so probably won't get rid of that. Bit of a cove on it. Spindle gouge. Right, I can live with that. This is 120 grit. A few little kind of fissures, but on this wood really seem to stand out, so I think they can just stay as they are. More down in the bottom here, and they pretty well vanish with the oil, and they will vanish when the wax gets into them. That's looking okay at the moment, but the truth will come when I hold it up to a light. It actually doesn't sound quite as thin as it seemed to measure. So that has come out all right.